Tragedy would leave its mark certainly on history. And for the journalists who covered the siege, they say the story will forever stay with them.
Yeah, unforgettable for them. 6 News reporter Sydney DeShawn spoke with a former KCEN anchor and reporter who watched the madness unfold. They share with us that they didn't learn information for days, and it was really years later that all of the truth came out.
You had dozens of innocent children who died in that for what? For what reason? I worked the night before, and I remember I got a call from the news director to come back in later in the morning, because at that time they had started going into the compound with the tanks.
That's what it appeared to be, was these armored vehicles of some sort moving in and poking holes
and injecting tear gas into the side of the walls. That was something that, obviously they didn't tell the media what they were doing, so that kind of took everybody by surprise.
We thought, well, it's today the day something happens, and then, something did happen.
The lookout tower is engulfed in flames.
When the fire started, I thought, well, surely the people are going to come out. Mike Snuffer was there, and Stacy Fager was there. Stacy was the voice that I recall on our live shot. She said, well, what's that smell? And this is after the fire's already going. And I don't think she was smelling the fire per se. I think she was smelling the burned off gas, whatever that was. That's what stuck in my mind all these years later, is what's that smell?
We're not quite sure what and how the fire started. There was presumption that whatever the tanks were using may have ignited the fire. So early on, there was speculation, weeks and months after the investigation, they were saying that the David Koresh ordered the torching of it.
All those people, dozens and dozens, died, unnecessarily.
It was almost this media blackout. We didn't really, ATF was trying to get their act together, FBI was coming in, who was in charge? We had a whole 24, 48 hours just to sit back and what's going on here? They started having news conferences twice a day, and that's where all the media would kind of stage to find out, at least from the federal's point of view, of what was going on.
David Koresh could have been picked up at any time when he went to town without this big raid. I think they thought they could take the compound pretty easily in the initial raid, and it sadly did not work out like that. Not only all those agents, but then all the men, women, and children that died in the ensuing fire.
There were all these flags all over the place, and my understanding is that they were either bodies or remains. All the bodies were taken to the morgue in Fort Worth, I believe, and so we had continuous coverage of that. There's bringing bodies after bodies after bodies after bodies.
We, were there, stuck it out, when some in upper management would like us to have left because it was costing a lot of money to keep a truck there and to keep it staffed. And we stayed there for the end of the story. And I think that's an important journalism lesson to, don't just shoot some video and go home, but to stay there. Journalists have to look at and document horrible things to hopefully help everybody learn from them.
Yeah, those interviews were conducted by Sydney DeShawn, and she put that piece together. And a very special thank you to our former 6 News colleagues for coming in from all over to be able to share that story.
Yeah, and just letting our previous talent actually have a conversation, even though they weren't together.
Right.
She pieced that together literally like they were recapping everything that happened. That was very well done. Thank you, Sydney.
Very